Okay, hello, how's it going? The sun's kind of going down a little bit. I just recorded a video on magic and stuff. I don't know when that'll be up. Either end of January or beginning of February. I don't know. But as I'm recording, it is November 2025. I'm walking in a cemetery. I usually call these graveyard chats. I don't even know why I call it that because there's no alliteration there. I think I like the word graveyard better. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, hello. I hope you're well. Thank you for tuning in. I feel like this is just going to be a little bit of a personal update. And I usually, even when I give personal updates, I try to like sprinkle wisdom and like say things that are, you know what I mean? Helpful maybe to whoever's listening. But I'm going to talk about myself for a little bit. So I have still been smoking. I'm not necessarily shaming myself like I sometimes do. That's not what this video is about. But I am taking this walk to kind of procrastinate it, to put it off. Of course, like, I have other things to do. Like, it's not like I just sit around and smoke all day. Like, that's not really, like, me taking a walk is just getting away from the environment that I'm in, because that is kind of, to some degree, what triggers me to, you know what I mean? Because I have access and, like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, if, I'm not going to explain the detail, but you know what I mean? It's the environment that I'm currently staying at, like, you know what I mean? And I've also been staying at the shelter the last week, which I really do appreciate that distance and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to necessarily say I've been struggling. There have been points in my journey where I felt like I was really struggling. And maybe from one perspective, we could say that I'm struggling. I'm not claiming not. You know what I mean? I wish it wasn't necessarily an aspect of my life, but it is right now, and I'm flowing with it. I'm working with it. You know what I mean? I'm still being productive. I'm a functioning addict. Okay, I'm very I'm high functioning. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm very high functioning addict. And I don't actively use the term addict for myself. That is not something I usually do. You will not hear me refer to myself as an addict very often because I don't mean to sound like I'm above it. Maybe I am. I don't know. Obviously not, because I'm still experiencing it. But like, I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of, you know, my own learning and reading in different realms, psychology, spirituality, all, you know, tackling the subject of addiction. And like, a lot of really smart people talk about love and the lack of love, the lack of support, in family or just in general, you know, just not feeling like you have anybody in the world. And I don't mean to get too emotional. We don't need to cry. It's okay. You can cry if you want, if you need to. I don't know. You gotta let it out, support. But yeah, a lot of smart people in psychology say that when a person, like, a lot of the times when a person goes down the path of addiction, it is because they don't really feel like they are supported in life. They don't really feel like they are loved and celebrated or respected and all that jazz. And they don't really recognize it as what it is. And they were never really taught, most people are not taught to properly deal with that feeling. You know what I mean? Because ideally, everybody's kind of sold the picture of like at a young age of like happy family, friends, and love and companionship to some degree, you know what I mean? Disney movies and all that jazz. But when the reality of it is, like, some people just don't receive that in childhood or in general, either because of external factors or maybe internal factors. There's different factors, there's different, you know what I mean, different degrees. But like, generally, when you don't receive that love from other people, from your family, from the people who should love you, it creates this energy, this void, if you will. And there we go with addiction. And some people, it's not drugs. Some people, it's not drugs. That's consider this a universal subject for a second, because some people indulge in other not so great behaviors, and it doesn't even matter like whether or not the behavior itself is like, you know, but it's because it's a response, you know. And I'm thankful enough to, I think, be going through it and also have the awareness that I do, have the understanding that I do. And like, even with the awareness that I do, it doesn't necessarily, like, that's not necessarily the thing that makes it go away. Like, it also requires a lot of willpower, a lot of fucking willpower. And I personally have a lot of willpower. Like, you know what I mean? Me making this fucking video is me demonstrating my fucking willpower. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have to turn on this camera. I didn't have to do this. But I did. And here we are. And thank you for being here. But you know what I mean? And there are other people who are not as strong-willed. Unfortunately. I don't know. Let's just call it what it is. And I'm also in the back of my head thinking about the fact that some people literally cannot comprehend that about themselves. And so that they, like, make other people the villain in their story, or, you know what I mean? Like, because that is the thing, and I don't know, it's been on my brain the last, like, as I've been talking, like, because people exist that way. Like, people will, like, literally dislike somebody else for showing them inadvertently, like, indirectly, that, you know, low-key, they're just weak, you know? Because it's like, I've been through a lot of fucked up situations throughout my life, and I don't wear them like a badge or anything like that, but like, I've been through a lot of fucked up situations, and there are people who have not had to endure as much negative like experiences, but they also don't necessarily have the willpower to like live life on their terms and to like find enjoyment on their own terms. And so when they see somebody like me who does what they do, makes videos, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like somebody who just does life. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't even know if that's a weird way to say it. But, you know, like, people will see that and they'll be like, because, like, the truth of it is that, like, you're just not strong enough. And you just, like, the first step to fixing something is recognizing it. You know, and if you can recognize that maybe you're just not currently, you don't have the strength. Maybe you don't have a good diet. That's, honestly, we have to start there. If you really want to turn your fucking life around, you gotta be mindful of what you fucking put into your body. Like, you eat fucking Cheetos and Takis all day. You think you're gonna have the energy to, like, run a business or, like, make a YouTube video, or, you know what I mean? Like, really, let's be honest, bubby. And, like, a lot of people don't want to be honest with themselves, and they'd rather just create some fictional narrative of, like, this person is a fucking demon, or whatever the fuck. Ash Ketchum, hey, there's the Ketchum. Ketchum. I'm not gonna show them, but, I don't know. We live in a crazy world. The last video I was recording was about magic and how I believe that we should have laws around magic, like baneful magic, obviously, you know, but who knows if that's ever going to be a thing. I don't know, in my lifetime. I think it would be really cool to see that, you know. I know nobody's talking about that. I know nobody gives a fuck about that, but I think that would be a good idea, you know. Anyways, I'm going to get out. Thank you for watching. I hope you know God loves you. Hope you know miracles happen all the time. And I hope you also know that whatever you're going through is temporary. Because everything's temporary, baby. Everything. We all die at some point, and that's even temporary. You know what I mean? So keep your head up. Keep your spirits high. It's going to be okay. Love you. Bye.